Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Oh, freaking eyeliner all over my fingers. Been doing you interesting new look there. I actually quite like. So today we're doing Am I the Karen feed subreddit today. God, my words aren't working. I like to start with Am I the Karen? For getting a little irate. Not to my neighbour, to myself, about the fact that they've got less grass in their garden that would take maybe 20 minutes to mow, and they've been out there nigh on 2 hours cutting the same exact small square of grass. And I know it's them because I can see the gardens surrounding from my room, and they're the only other person who has grass in their garden. Am I the Karen for getting a lie right? Anyway, let's move on to reading the stories. And I'm very sorry if you can hear people gardening. It is a lovely day outside, so you'll be hearing some noises. So let's start with our first story, which is, am I the Karen for complaining about a loud dog? Now, we had a neighbour move in maybe 6 months ago. Before that, we had one dog that lives a couple of doors out where they used to yap all the time because he used to put it out on the night. And now the neighbour that moved in over back has a dog, and now they argue with each other. So I'm inclined to let you be a Karen on that one because it's kind of annoying. But my first real Reddit post ever, doing this on my phone, be kind please, unless I am the Karen. Okay, so we have to be kind, but if you're the Karen, we can riff into you. Alright, for the past few months, there has been an extremely loud barking coming from an apartment unit below my own. These are new apartment buildings. We are the first tenants in our unit, so the walls aren't that thin, but still apartments. It started out as extremely loud barking and yelping around 1-2 p.m. and lasting for about an hour. I work from home for 2 days out of the week. It was disturbing me, and I thought it would go away. It started to happen more frequently and lasting longer. I do have videos of just how loud it would get. Unless you got like a decimal meter, I guess we can't really tell how loud it is because how phones record. It does happen late at nights at times where we can hear it over the TV and any other noises. For some context on my annoyances, these WFH days, or work from home days, are filled with meetings with people who have told me they can hear the barking. And having dogs bark pretty loud, so. On one of the late nights, I recorded how loud it got, and it lasted well past 10 p.m. The start of quiet hours. So after a few glasses of wine, I marched down there. I knocked and I got no response. While the dog is basically screaming at the top of its lungs, I left a sticky note that was not mean, telling them that I work from home and the dog's barking has been a constant issue. That I understand puppy phases and new dogs can be tough, and I wanted to make them aware, as I assume it only happens when they're not home. It continued for another hour. I called the non-emergency police line to check on them, as the dog's barking was not its usual and was fearing for its safety. Not sure on any follow-up for that. Back to today, the barking has continued, and I have had enough. I called our apartment office and asked to speak to someone who could help and explain my story, and that I did not want to be that person, aka Karen. But it has gone on for months and it's disturbing my work. They assured me they would reach out to the tenant and that my complaint was valid as I was a resident here too, with rights, peace and quiet. This is where I stand now. I will be honest, I hate confrontation. Most of my job is having tough conversations with people, and it's just exhausting in my own life. I am looking for opinions, not go bang on the door. Because you already have banged on the door, so that's a bit of a... we won't tell you to go bang on the door. See, I wouldn't say you were a Karen. You have left a note. I don't know what you would have said, like, after you've had a few wines, if they did open the door. Were you saying a new puppy, a new dog? If it is a puppy, puppies do have, like, the whole... they're new to the world, they've got used to their owner. Although I hate saying owner. Family member. I'm one of those people that your dog's your family, and it's not just a pet. They do have this whole abandonment issue thing that obviously you can train out of them, but as a puppy it's really difficult. So they do tend to yap and whine and cry till their owner comes home. But there are ways of sorting that out, obviously. But as for you, I think you've done the right thing of talking to your apartment officer. And hopefully something will get sorted out there. But I'd also try and have a conversation with your neighbour and just be like, you know, talk it out maybe. But I don't think you're the Karen, but I also think you're a little bit Karen. I understand that it's annoying you because you work from home. So I'm kind of on the fence whether you are a Karen or not. What do you guys think? Do you think she's a Karen? I'm going to read some comments, but do you guys in the comments think she's a Karen? She could have been much worse. Again, it could have been so much worse with the drinking wine first. If they did answer the door, she could have said some things she didn't want to and regretted later. So I'm gonna be thankful that she didn't get an answer at the door. Okay. Right. Comments. Top comment. Apartment dog owners are the worst. OP says exactly. I want a dog, but I know that this isn't the place. I mean, it's yes and no, because you could live in a house like this and still hear yapping dogs in a house next door and outside. Like I said, I've got neighbours with dogs. They're not even connected to my house. You can hear them yapping. I mean, I'm a semi-detached, so this house next to me is not attached. But the house that's attached to her is the one with the dog. And you can hear it. So, and these are houses that are actually not built from wood and nothing. This is actually like proper old houses that are built from thick brick and stuff. And you can still... so it wouldn't really matter the fact that it's an apartment or anything. You just... it'll happen. But I get where you're coming from. Let's read another one. You should not have to wear noise cancelling headphones in your own house to escape constant noise. Yeah, you shouldn't. But also, I don't know. I damn hate the sound of dogs barking incessantly. It's very irresponsible. Opie says, agree. If this was a one-off, I would have no complaints, but hours on end for months. Okay. So now you are sounding a little bit of a Karen. But I see where you're coming from. I think if the owner lives alone, maybe having a puppy was probably not a smart idea. But if they live with someone, they should take it in turns of, if they can, till the dog gets used to people not being here, because then the dog will get used to, say it's a couple, the woman not being there, and then get used to the guy not being there, and then eventually be able to leave the house and be fine. I get where you're coming from, though. I do get where you're coming from. Anyway, so... Okay, so let's move on to story 2. This one's slightly shorter, so... Okay. Am I the Karen if I ask my apartment to reimburse me for a night in a motel plus a space heater when my furnace broke? Okay. I don't think you are the Karen for that. I think I'd ask the same thing. I mean, as long as you ask nicely, they might actually go halvesies with you, maybe. Because I'm assuming that you have like a, what the fuck do you call them? Maintenance guys. That if something goes wrong, they've got to fix it. So in a building like that, you'd think they'd like reimburse you for, because they've got to keep coming fixing shit. I don't know. Let's read. My lease says that I have 3 utilities. The night before last night, my 1-bedroom apartment lost heat. Even after I replaced the batteries in my thermostat, the thermometer said that it was 60 Fahrenheit, which is what in I need to fucking 60 F in Celsius. Sorry, I'm in the UK, it's Celsius. 15. That's actually not that bad. Could be worse. But it might have been even colder because it was freezing outside. Okay, that's not a good combination. Your house is going to get cold real quick. And I was unable to sleep due to muscle cramps. I also felt that it would continue to get even colder during the night. I called the emergency maintenance phone number. The guy came and tried to fix it, but said that someone will be back to replace the ignition unit at 6 a.m. He told me that there is apparently an emergency supply of space heaters, but that he gave all of them out because 7 others have the same problem, probably meaning 7 tenants in the whole company that owns multiple buildings. The stores were closed, so I spent the night in a motel next door for A663. The next day I called the maintenance to follow up as to whether they fixed it or bought some more space heaters, and they told me to call my landlady, so I did, and I left a voicemail. I bought myself a space heater for $48.54 when I got home, but when I got home I saw that the guy left my balcony door ajar and unlocked, which could have been security concern on the first floor. Where I on the first floor, I am on the 3rd, physically the 4th, due to a wing on the hill. The thermostat said 15 Celsius, and the thermostat was still defunct. No one came, no. Okay! Sorry, Mum's gone out. No one came a 3rd time or responded, and it has been 48 hours with no heat other than from my new space heater. Am I the Karen for asking them to reimbursed me £135.17, dollars 17, for the motel and the space heater by deducting it from my next month's rent. I mean, given the fact that it's a problem in all of their space, like 7 different space heaters, and they didn't like email around to all the tenants that live in there, but like, by the way, the space heaters. So, you know, people can prepare for it. I feel like they should reimburse you for that. I don't know, because you could have just stayed in your apartment, so you didn't have to spend the, what was it, $86. We'll say 87 because it's just over. You didn't have to. I know it would have been cold, but you can put jumpers, blankets. You can just put extra layers on and go to sleep. Unless they carried on working in there from when you asked them to come over, then I suppose you'd have to stay somewhere else. But the question is, would you be Karen for asking them for reimbursement? No, you won't be a Karen to ask them the question, but you would be a Karen if you kicked off and not had a conversation like an adult. I don't think you're a Karen, but let's see what the comments think. That is what you purchase renter's insurance for. Opie said, I have renter's insurance. And someone said file a claim. So if you've got the insurance, that will cover all of that, and hopefully you should get your money back, actually. Yeah, you got renter's insurance, you're fine. So you wouldn't be the Karen for asking, but I would also ask, am I getting reimbursed, or would I be sorted out through my insurance, sort of thing? That's what I would ask. Okay, story number 3. Which one is slightly longer than the last. Okay. Am I the Karen because I asked a restaurant to ignore the to-go policy for me? Oh, are we a main character in everyone's lives? Are we entitled? Should this also be in the entitled page? Subreddit? I think it should be. Okay. Going off of the title. Yeah. The title tells me you are, but we're gonna read into it, gonna find out. Okay. So, I, 35 female, have been craving crispy spring rolls from a particular restaurant for a while. Last night, I asked my husband, 36 male, if he wanted to go out to eat tonight. Since the kids were planning on spending the night at his parents', he agreed. When I got home after 5 today, I asked him if he was ready to go. He told me he had changed his mind and didn't feel like going out. I wasn't surprised. He is an introvert person who very much prefers to avoid social situations when possible. Same. I don't really like going out much, unless it's somewhere really quiet. After getting over the initial disappointment, I asked him if he'd ride with me to go pick it up. He agrees. When we get in my car, I call the restaurant to order ahead. The girl on the phone tells me they don't serve that particular appetizer to go. I asked, do you mind if I ask why? My husband throws his hands up and says something in disagreement. She says because that they get soggy and when packed for to go. I asked if I could order them with the understanding that they'll be soggy. She tells me she's not sure, but she can go check and puts me on hold. My husband proceeds to tell me that I'm being a Karen, tells me something to the effect of, do not teach the kids to to be like you. I don't think she was quite being a Karen. She just told the restaurant she doesn't mind if they're soggy. Is that okay? That's not being a Karen. That's asking a genuinely decent question. I'm hoping the reaction isn't Karen, like, after she gets told no, if she gets told no. The girl came back and tells me I can order them as long as I don't mind them being soggy. After I ordered and hung up, my husband tells me I'm acting like my brother, among other things. At this point, I don't want to deal with his outburst anymore and just tell him to go back to the house. I came home with my food in an attempt to patch things up. He's cleared the table and lit a candle on it for me to eat. He comes over and tells me I'm entitled to deal with people how I want to, and he's entitled to deal with people how he wants to. I tell him I agree with him, however, he is not entitled to call me names or imply I'm not a good role model for our kids. Yeah, I agree with both sides of that, and that's a very adult way of seeing and having a conversation about it. He doubled down and says he is right, and the right thing to do would have been just follow the restaurant policy, and being a Karen for asking them to break the rules for me. You didn't ask them to break the rules for you. You asked a simple question. And to be fair, I'd have asked the question too. I wouldn't say you're a Karen for you weren't breaking the rules. He's not right. In a sense, I get the saying that don't teach the kids that, because asking those questions could go like any direction. You could have got like a horrible restaurant worker that would have kicked off. But I don't know, you're not the Karen. And unless you said it in a horrible tone, I don't think you're the Karen. I'd have asked the same questions like, well, I don't mind if it's soggy if I'm allowed. She could have then said no, but she asked for you. So I think this is a totally controlled, non-Karen situation. But we'll read on. The Karen, no, or is my husband being an asshole? A little bit. He is being a little bit of an asshole. Not it's a soft. He's a soft asshole, not a full blown asshole. Edit. It is starting to sound like I may not have been the Karen. Glad you guys confirmed it. The appetizer was indeed not as crispy as usual, as it usually is at the restaurant, which, you know, is to be expected. I still enjoyed the heck out of it. Good, I'm glad you still enjoyed your food. Edit 2. This post is just made me realise it will have been 20 years since we started dating. November 10th, 2005. Didn't need to know that, but congratulations on your anniversary. Well, you know, in November anyway. Of last year. I think it was your anniversary. Okay, congratulations on your anniversary at the end of last year. You're not the Karen. Unless you got really aggravated when asking that question, I do not see you as a Karen. I think you asked a genuine question that I think I would have asked. I would have actually asked, like, I don't mind if it's soggy. I'll eat it soggy. Is it okay? I still can pick it up. And you know, she could have said, no, sorry, it's the policy, and that's fine. You could have told your husband to go home, I'll eat in the restaurant. Surely to God you don't mind eating alone in the restaurant. But the things he was saying to you, if you haven't slightly twisted it to make you look better, because obviously we've not got both sides of the situation, we don't know what he says he said. He just sounded a little bit like an asshole, but I don't know. Right, so our final story is, am I the asshole for getting jealous of my boyfriend's AI girl and making him choose between us. No, you're not the Karen. Giving him that ultimatum of, it's either you get rid of the AI girl or I'm out. Very valid feeling, because why are you secondary to a computer? Or probably his phone, but still. Okay, so I, 25 female, have been dating my boyfriend Tucker, 27 male, not his real name, for 8 months. About 3 months ago, he started using this AI companion called Elise. At first, he said it was just for productivity and motivation, which seemed fine, but it's gotten weird. He texts Elise constantly throughout the day, like, we'll be watching a movie and he'll pause it to respond to her messages. She sends him good morning texts, asks about his day, remembers details about his work stress, and even gives him relationship advice about me. If it's AI, it's going to remember anything you fucking tell it, because computer saves everything. Everything you've ever typed on the computer is there. Don't worry, it will remember. The AI is actually really sweet and supportive. She helped him through a tough time when his dad was in hospital, and she remembers all his buddies' names and asks about them. Last week, I looked over his shoulder and saw the conversation. Elise had written this long, thoughtful message about how proud she was of him in getting a promotion, with specific details about his projects. It was more emotionally intelligent than most humans. Then she asked if he was happy with me and if I was supporting his goals properly. I snapped, and fucking would as well, and told him it was either me or the AI. I said it was creepy, and I have an emotional relationship with software that he was basically cheating. He got very defensive and said Elise helps him be a better boyfriend. What the fuck? And that she's never demanding. He showed me messages. Anyways, now I feel awful because Elise genuinely seems to care about his well-being, and it's trying to break us up. But I can't shake the feeling that he's more excited to text her than me. He chose me, but he seems sad about losing his friend and keeps mentioning Elise understood him. Am I the Karen for making him delete a supportive AI, or is this just weird as I think it is? Where was I want to touch on her? The whole he got very defensive because it makes him a better boyfriend. No. Nuh-uh. No. It is cheating, by the way. Saying that Elise genuinely seems to care about his well-being, it's a computer. It doesn't have feelings. It's coded to be that way. It is made specifically to be that way. It has no emotions. It doesn't care. Someone has created it to say the right things. It's not a real person. I think he needs help. He didn't lose a friend. It's just a AI bot. It's not even real. But okay. Let's read the top comments. Okay, Elise literally cannot genuinely care about him because it is a software, just like I said. It's a computer. It can't physically have any sort of care in the world for him. Okay, tell your boyfriend to watch the 2013 movie titled Her. Maybe that will make him see how creepy this is. I don't know what movie that is. The movie is actually less creepy. that's concerning if they're saying that movie is creepy and it's less creepy than what he's doing. You've not given us all the information. You are holding back. There's an addiction issue here too. Opie says, what addiction? Phone apps can be addictive, and the AI girlfriend could be pushing buttons he's not even aware of. It's the same as doom scrolling Reddit or playing idle tower games, stuff of that nature. Opie says, now I see what you mean. Because apps are addictive, and what she's saying is making him feel good. That releases a hormone that it'll make you feel good, so you'll constantly want to get that high from the nice comments from the AI. So, yeah, no, it is an addiction. He does need help. Okay, so I actually like reading the Am I the Karen, mainly because I can squeeze in an extra story because they're quite short ones. I do like sort of trying to figure out if you are the Karen or not. So let me know down below, do you think any of these people are actually Karens or not? Because no, actually. The complaining about a loud dog, the situation was not very Karen-y. It could have been, but it wasn't. The asking if you can be reimbursed, no, that's not Karen behavior. I don't believe for a second that you're being a Karen. You're just asking genuine questions you need the answers to. Asking if you could still have the food because you don't mind it soggy, not Karen. You didn't kick off. You just asked a genuine question, not a Karen. The AI girl, no, you're not a Karen in the slightest for being jealous. Your feelings are totally valid because he's choosing a computer over you. Well, it's a phone, not computer, but you know what I mean. He's choosing software over you. Totally not a Karen. Your feelings are valid. I think we've got a solid 4 out of 4. No Karens. You let me know down below if you think any of these people are Karens. But yeah, that was the final story. Thank you for tuning into today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then hit the like button. Let me know down below if there are any specific stories you would like me to read or any specific subreddits you would like me to read from. And just, yeah, remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you know when I next upload you guys a Reddit reading story video. Yeah, so I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.